these mornings, you're gonna ride.
Summertime, a classic song from the 1930s from Porgy and Bess. It's been covered many times. We've done a video on one cover so far on the channel, Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald, very, very iconic. Today we have another iconic name in the Righteous Brothers, or more specifically, Bobby Hatfield. Our last Righteous Brothers video was also Bobby just singing alone. He did Unchained Melody on the Andy Williams show live. Again, super iconic. So join me as we go back over 60 years to watch Bobby Hatfield sing Summertime live.
It's time for my solo, Willie, so why don't you give me a groovy introduction like only you can, baby.
Okay, Bob, leave it to me. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce a young man whose brother is probably one of the greatest entertainers in the business today. I would also like to introduce a young man whose brother is probably one of the best looking people in the business. Say nothing of his talent. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, trying it on his own. My brother Bob, singing Summertime. Go ahead, Bob. Good one.
That's nice. I find it baffling that they are here 5 years younger than I am right now at the time of recording. Give or take 4, 5, 6, who's counting? People might say, oh, it's just the camera quality. I don't think it is. I think people back then, they were just more mature due to so many different things. But when I, watch these artists from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, they just seem a bit more adult than young people do now. Maybe, like other health factors come into play, diet, maybe not smoking as much today, which is why people might look a bit younger as well. I don't know, that's just my thoughts. Another reason with these two in particular might just be how incredible they were at singing. So let's see what Bobby does with this one.
Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high, so high. You know your daddy's a rich man, and your mama, she's good looking. So hush, little baby, come on, don't you cry, don't cry.
Well, it's smooth, it's funky. If it were to be technical, so many blues elements in there in this one. I've heard so many different versions of Summertime over the years, and they're all really quite different, but they all have a lot of similarities. This one has many things that makes it really, really unique. Bobby Hatfield is just so smooth with it, isn't he? Just such a good performer. So let's quickly take a break and go over some of what we've heard so far. Yes, I do need to do this. I need to pause. Copyright could be an issue, and if it is an issue and I don't pause, my video can get taken down. That's no good for anyone, so don't complain in the comments. Oh, you paused. Yeah, I did pause. We're going to talk about the music and then we'll carry on in a bit. So I want to start with the rhythm, because I think we can all see how important the rhythms are in this performance. They just give it so much character. We can hear there are 4 beats in each bar, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And the piano is now coming in. I was going like that when it was playing. That's me hitting a piano chord, because we can hear this piano chord. And that is showing us that each of those 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, is subdivided into 3 smaller beats. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is called compound time. Remember that. For musicians out there, this is like a very heavy 12/8 feel, essentially a slow blues shuffle type thing. The original from the opera Porgy and Bess in the 30s is also in compound time. So each main beat has 3 smaller beats within it. But it was much more focused on like a bouncy feel.
And the living is easy.
1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, but it's like bum ba bum ba bum ba. Here it's slower.
And the living is easy.
And every smaller beat, each of those piano chords, 1 2 3 1 2 3, they're equally weighted and the same length, not bouncy. It gives it a tiny bit more of a dragging feel compared to the original, and maybe a bit more emotional weighting as a result. I don't know, let me know if you agree. We then get an instrumental interlude, and I think it just increases the intensity of the performance. The rhythms are now much more bouncy compared to the cha-cha-cha that we had before.
Yeah, the power is high.
In those instruments we can hear, you know, that kind of figure. We have it in 3 different parts: at the bottom, in the middle, and at the top. If we put them all together and I play it slowly, then this is what we're hearing. We can see and hear how much of a clash that is, but also chromatic. It creates this sort of modal feel where it's not too clear. Is it major? Is it minor? It's uncertain which direction the music might take in a harmonic sense. And then Bobby Hatfield just sort of explodes on so high. So high! Even rewatching now, it's still like a surprise. He looks away and they're just suddenly so high. So high! Then we move back into the groove a bit. It's more restrained and there's less extreme singing. Not only the range, but also the dynamics, how loudly or quietly he is.
And your mama, she's good looking.
We have that same bass motif, dum bum bum ba da da dum, that we got at the beginning. So this is some familiarity. But the piano, of course, at the top, super high up in the register, giving us these really improvisatory licks. Leading into this super smooth section where everything feels like it's plodding along a bit more lethargic, slower on Hush, Little Baby.
Hush, little baby, come on, don't you?
Yes, the tempo is slower, but not by that much. I actually think that what makes it seem so much slower compared to the previous section, well, we're going back to that idea of compound time where every beat has 3 smaller beats within it. Now, each main beat, 1, 2, 3, 4, is not subdivided into 3, but only into 2. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Hush, little baby, come on, don't you?
This is called common time. So switching between compound and common time, it's clearly super effective in shaping the rhythmic feel of the music in each section. Yeah, super groovy performance.
Groovy, baby.
Let's carry on and see what happens after this slower section.
One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing.
It just makes you wanna
Yes,
move with
you're
it.
gonna spread your wings, take off to the sky. Up to that nothing gonna harm you. No, no. So hush, little baby, and don't cry, don't cry. Bobby Lee, baby, cry. Everything gonna be alright. Don't cry, don't cry. No, don't cry.
Oh, and that's the end. There's still 40 seconds left of the video. Well, we can watch the last 40 seconds after going over that second half. What made that performance so cool. I mean, there was a lot going on there. Jeez, his energy, how he just moves around. It was almost like he was a ragdoll at points, and just so much time spent up there in that upper register. His voice is unique. We'll get onto that in a second. There was one really crazy vocalization he did, and I'll play it, but I do want to say I'm not sure whether what he does here is actually intentional or not. And whether it is or isn't, I don't care. It's just a cool effect. So let's have a listen.
Don't cry. One of these mornings.
That crack on moments, it's quite a severe crack.
One of these mornings.
In terms of actual notes, he goes... It's really high. That's just one note below here, which is as high as your typical chorister would be expected to sing. So yeah, really high in a crack. And I know by me questioning the intentionality of that, it will offend some people. There will be someone who comments, oh, this is Bobby Hatfield. Everything he does is intentional. Yeah, sure, but even the best in the world at anything, they're not immune to the occasional unintended or unexpected action, whether it be forgetting the lyrics or singing slightly out of tune or having a voice crack like we have here. There are many famous singers who've had voice cracks. So that's all. I'm just wondering, was that intentional or not? If it was, fair play, because that's just incredible. And if it wasn't, also fair play, because it's still incredible. It's just a really, really cool effect, and I definitely was not expecting it. This run, of course, is a big melisma. And a melisma we can just think of as a really elongated word or vowel sound going over multiple notes, like a little vocal run. And so much of this performance is just completely based around melismas, and Bobby Hatfield is just loving it, right? We can see that that is something that he really excels at, these long, crazy runs.
You're gonna spread your wings.
You just don't know when he's going to stop a word. Wings, how long is he going to sing Wings for? He keeps going.
Take off to the sky.
And I'm sorry for the faces I probably made in this video, but I'm watching literally just like, because that's what it's making my body do. It's crazy. If you enjoy these videos, please consider supporting me. You can buy me a coffee or hot chocolate, join our Patreon for loads of additional content that's not available on YouTube, or become a YouTube member for these groovy emojis and membership badges. All options are linked below, and a special thanks to everyone on the screen. Back to the video. So high as well, and he has such a unique way of singing. It's like his voice, because of how high it is, wants to be fully in head voice, you know, like that. But the chest voice, the fuller sound, that portion of his voice is fighting back, going, not today. I've got this. I'm going to take over, which results in this fantastic blend that sounds kind of hoarse and husky, but also smooth and clean. Do you know what I mean? Underneath all of this, his voice is, you know, the star of the show, but the instrumentation is just amazing with the super high brass, the lower strings or percussion, depending on how you view like a keyboard.
Take off to the sky.
The sound, the texture, the timbre of these different instrument families, they work so well together, they have for centuries, but when they're isolated like this, you know, they're so hugely important. And on top of that, you have such a unique voice as Bobby Hatfield. It's almost like an overstimulation for the senses. After this, he moved into sequence mode. So he was singing like a musical sequence. A sequence just being a short pattern. Maybe it's that sort of thing. And as the sequence moves on, the harmony changes. So you have to change the notes of the sequence to fit in. At some point, the sequence will break naturally. As he was singing, I was thinking, how is he going to escape the sequence? He doesn't. And that really threw me off. In order to maintain the sequence of that pattern, he has to start adding in chromaticism just to fit in with the harmony.
Little baby.
That you heard there. Really interesting towards the end of that sequence, but again, it just sets up the next phrase really nicely. A cappella. Yeah, whew, I'm actually sweating underneath my cap here. Definitely more of a seemingly hectic performance compared to the other two that I've seen that we've done on this channel. A bit more unpredictable than those two as well. Last video was Unchained Melody, and my first Righteous Brothers video was You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling. So if you haven't seen those videos, then please do check them out. I will leave one or both linked below in the pins comment. And I've just remembered we actually need to finish this video, don't we? So let's do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank you for that introduction, Willie.
My pleasure.
We have done several concerts, and every concert we do, Billy sings a song that gets very much response. We get thousands and thousands of letters, but he's still going to do it tonight. Might slow down shoulder.
Ah, and then the concert continues. I would love to watch the whole thing. Well, I think we needed some calming talking. Their way of talking as well, it's just very adult, very mature. I think we needed that after that crazy performance, though, to lower the heart rate a little bit. Let me know what you thought of this one, especially compared to the other two that we've done on the channel. Once more, if you haven't seen my other videos, please do watch them so you can kind of see where I'm at with my Righteous Brothers experience as a whole. Comment down below other performances or songs you want me to do by them. And if you don't want to comment any words, then just leave a microphone emoji like you see on the screen here. Comments help, so do likes. So thank you if you made it this far, and I'd really appreciate a like on the video. Thank you once again for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.